up? What up? What up? What up? Good to be back with you guys. Going live here on a Thursday night. Let's see who's up in here. All right. We got big fights first on the list here, right? Yeah. We got Jeremy. We got Brian, Monroe, Sky, Howard. What up? Well, good. I'm glad everybody jumped in here. Trent, what up, dude? Glad everybody jumped in because, it feels like it's been a minute, huh? Because we missed two in a row. Actually, I wasn't planning on missing this past week. I was going to try to do it in Colorado, but then we were leaving Tuesday morning, and our last night in town was obviously going to be Monday night. And so there was a family dinner, and I was planning on jumping on Instagram and saying, hey, guys, I can't do the live tonight, and I totally spaced it. So my bad for just leaving you guys hanging. Like later that night after dinner, I'm like, oh, shoot, I totally forgot to tell everybody I couldn't do the Moto Monday tonight because we went out with Mel's family. Grandparents were in town and went out to dinner with the family, and then we took off back to KC Tuesday morning. So anyway, so been on the road for a minute, 2 weeks. We were, obviously, all you guys know, everybody in here is here week after week. So, I was in Oklahoma for the FCA motocross camp. I went there, actually left on a Monday, got back on a Wednesday, and then reset on Thursday, washed my bike, and then took off to Colorado on Friday. But the FCA camp is awesome. Been going down to that Oklahoma camp for the last 3 years. Been a part of FCA, actually, for longer than that. Did motocross camps with those guys. Even through my freestyle career, if I had a weekend off and they had a camp going on, I would fly in and help coach and then fly out. But since I moved here to the Midwest, I've been going to that Oklahoma camp for the last 3 years. So that's kind of been like my home camp with those guys. And it was really good. Trey Kennard was out there. I actually didn't get to hear him speak, and which I was bummed about because Trey's a really good speaker, and he spoke on a Wednesday night, and I left Wednesday at lunchtime to get back. But it was cool. I got to speak on Monday night, share my testimony, and I got to speak out of the book of John, which is cool. It's my favorite gospel. So that was cool. And it was packed. Probably, you guys, I put a story up, or not just a story, did a reel. And if you guys saw all the bikes, there was probably 70 to 80 campers at this camp. So that's a big one for those guys. But they bring in multiple coaches. They got awesome coaches. Probably had probably 8, maybe 9 coaches. Actually, Kenny Bartram was out there, which I thought was kind of cool. I haven't seen Kenny in years. Freestyle guy. He came out. He's a local. He only lives like 20 minutes from where the class was. So good to see him. Who else? It was at Robbie Smith's motocross compound. So if you've never been there, go check it out. If you're in that area, go check out Robbie Smith. He's a super cool guy, great coach, and he has an awesome setup down there. Actually, this year they changed the track. Last year they had 3 different tracks. This year they combined 2 of the tracks together. They had one big track and then the sand track. And actually, they have a turn track, too, so if you want to count that, I guess they still have 3. They didn't have the turn track last year, and it was fun, like really, really fun. Good dirt down there. I mean, it's red and it's staining the crap out of your white boots, but it's I brought my red ones with me this year because I learned that the first year I went. Don't bring white boots to Oklahoma. Jack them up. But I had a lot of fun, and it was hot and humid, I'll be honest with you. It was so hot and humid that when I got back to Kansas, I thought it felt good here, and then I went to Colorado and was like, whoa, I forgot what that was like to be in a state that doesn't have humidity. It reminded me of California because Colorado is kind of similar to California in a lot of ways. Really pretty though, just with the mountains and the cooler weather. So that was good, was out there, and that was just a family trip for me and Mel to be with her family. And then we jammed back, got back in town. When did we get back? We got back when did we get back? What is today? Today's Thursday, so we would have got back on Tuesday. We got back Tuesday. We drove all day Tuesday, and then I reset yesterday, and here we are catching back up. I didn't want to leave you guys hanging all the way until next week. That's why I'm like, you know what? Let's just get on. I was planning on doing it Monday and wasn't able to do it. Didn't want to wait, miss a whole nother week. Already, I don't like to miss any weeks. I didn't want to miss 2 in a row, so thank all you guys for being here. I know it's not a Monday, and I know this. You guys probably some of you guys might have had Thursday plans and you jumped in here. So shout out to everybody for being here. I'm seeing who else is up in here. Looks like we got DK and Tommy Shea's up here. Yeah. So hey, I was just saying, he says I was just reading this thing about having tacos on a Friday. Me and Mel had tacos tonight. I'm gonna be honest with you. This is funny. We got back Tuesday, went straight to our taco place. We got tacos on Tuesday, but they just opened a new place here in town. It's called Torchy's. We've never been to it. I don't know if you guys have them. They don't have them in California. I don't think they have them in New Jersey. But they opened one here in Overland Park. It's like 5 minutes from my house. So that's where we went tonight. We're like, yo, let's go. I'm like, I ain't cooking tonight. You know what I mean? We do Moto Mondays. We don't cook. We that's the night we don't cook because we got to do this. So, hey, Thursday, we're doing Moto Monday. We ain't cooking. Let's go try out Torchy's. So me and Mel were grubbing tacos 2 days this week. We were taco fanatics. But anyway, it's good to be back. Quick little announcement. I'm just trying to think. Is there anything coming up other than the class? And I got the green light today. So the June 26th class. Where is it at? I'm popping over here. June 26th class is going to be at Green Valley. Got the green light from the track owner today, Bart. And they have a race this weekend, so they're going to have next weekend open. But they do have an event going on Sunday, so we got to make sure we're in and out of there by 2. We're going to be out there. We're going to start at 9 because it's hot now. So I think the last 2 classes I started at 10 and went to 3 because it wasn't hot. It's hot now. So we're starting at 9. We'll go to 2. That's our normal schedule. So 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. And we got to be out of there at 2 p.m. on a dot because they have an event on Sunday, and they're going to start prepping as soon as we're done. So we'll wrap it. Dude, honestly, with this heat that we're getting right now, actually, the 26th, I was looking at the schedule today. It's a little bit of chance of rain, but it's going to be like 85. So I think that's a blessing. And so hopefully it stays cool because if you guys are out my way, you know right now it is hot. It is hot. Today was like 103, and tomorrow's going to be 100, and the rest are 90. So next weekend's in the 85s. That'll probably feel really sweet after being in this super hot stuff. So that's coming up. If you guys are interested, go to RonnieFaisstMX.com, get signed up. We'll be out there next weekend. Hopefully, I don't want the rain to skip us. It'd be sweet if it rained a little bit on Friday. We'll be out there Saturday. It's only like 30-40% chance, so that could probably change a lot, but a little bit of rain would be sweet. But if not, talk to Bart. If the rain misses us, he's going to water. We're leaving it rough. I told him, I said, dude, leave it rough. They're racing this weekend. Don't even touch it. Leave it race conditions. Leave it chopped up. Leave it ruddy. And if the rain misses us on Friday, we're going to water on Friday night, and it'll be ready to go Saturday. Other than that, man, let's see. Last weekend was a weekend off, and this weekend is High Point, I believe. Right? High Point? But let's look at I pulled up the race. I didn't have a chance to throw them on. Here we go. Race results from 2 weeks ago, because last weekend was off. So this would have been Thunder Valley. So, hey, my boy, come on. 1-1 for Roxton. Fernandez 2-2. So this 450 class. Cinderella with a 3-6. Barsha 7-3. Plessinger 5-4. Sexton with a 4-5. 6th overall. Christian Craig with the 6-7. Cooper Webb 8-8. Consistent. Muscat 9-9. And then Tomac going with a 11-10 to round out the top 10. So, man, I think it could be Roxton's year. I think Fernandez is going to be tough though because the dude's a champion, and I feel like it's always about confidence, and he's already off to a good start. And look at him, just consistent 2-2. So I feel like he's got what it takes. I'm not a super fan, and I hope he don't win, to be honest with you. But you can't knock him. The dude's got skills. Cinderella being consistent as well, though, right there in the 3, 3rd overall. So I'm pulling for Roxton. You know that. I feel like you guys always know that. But I don't know. What do you think about Tomac, man? Way down there, huh? So we'll see. This week it's Mount Morris. I hope Roxton just be consistent. Consistent. If he's consistent throughout this whole series, I think he can win the championship. Let's see if I can pull up the two. I'm looking at, if any of you guys are in front of a computer, or you're on your computer, but maybe you want to pull up your phone, you can see what I'm looking at. I'm on racerx.com, just looking at race results. Let me see. Oh, this is not going to give me the overall results. Let's see the 250 overall results. All right, right here we got Cooper Justin Cooper with the 2-2 with the first overall. Jet Lawrence 4-1. Hunter Lawrence, look at the Lawrence brothers going back to back. See, I didn't even watch this race. I need to track back, and I watched the 450s, but I missed the 250s. I don't remember what we were doing, but I must have been doing yard work or something. But I missed it. I need to go watch these. We got them on Peacock, so I can go back. But anyway, so Lawrence brothers with the second overall and third overall, 4-1, 5-3. Shimoda with the 6-4, fourth overall. Nichols, Marchbanks, Swole, and then Martin. I thought he got hurt though. Oh, he did, huh? That's why it says 140. He got a 140 and he still got 8th overall. How crazy is that? Man, he's hurt though. That has a little medic sign next to his. Yeah, he's jacked up, huh? Him and his brother. I can't believe it. And then, Hampshire rounded out the top 10. So another competitive class. To be honest with you, I think obviously you already kind of see Cooper right there. I think he's going to be there, but I'm liking the Lawrence brothers, to be honest with you. I like the way they ride. I like their style. I like their form. They're just smooth. They got arms up. I like that style. So I like to see those guys stay consistent and maybe battle for the championship, but hey, Cooper's got skills too. So we'll see how it goes. Looking forward to Mount Morris. Actually, like I said before, that's a track I kind of grew up racing on. That's the East Coast track, not too far from where I grew up in New Jersey. Me and Big Feist used to go there and race amateur stuff. So, and I feel like that's like an OG track of the Nationals. Like Mount Morris is like Southwick or Unadilla. It's one of the OG tracks that have been on the series forever. So always a super fun one to watch. And we'll get a shout out to our boy Scott Sheik. Took that one in 2007 back-to-back win. So another shout out to our buddy. And keep praying for his family. Anyway, let's jump in and see what's going down. If you guys are new here, this is Moto Monday. We normally do it Monday nights. We're doing it this week to catch up, 7 p.m. Central Time every Monday night. And my name is Ronnie Faisst. You can find me at Ronnie Faisst on all my channels. And if you got a question, just throw it up in the chat. Try to put some question marks by it so I can kind of pick it out of the comments. But I'm seeing Brian here. See how Brian threw up the why is that not popping up? There we go. All right. So that's what I'm saying. See how he's got this? So if you're new here, throw that up. If you're not new here, you know how we do it. So let's see. He says, not a question, just a comment. Everything I've learned from your schools is coming more natural every time I go out. Feeling good. Hey, I would agree with you 100% because I was looking at those photos you posted the other day and all of your form was looking awesome. So I'm like, yo, Brian is making some good progression and good changes. So stay at it. Super excited for you. And I'm sure we're going to go rip soon. Now that I'm back in town, we'll be ripping it up. So I'm glad you're feeling good and feeling more confident. That's what it's all about. But I can see it. I see it in your photos because I know the first time that I saw you ride was at Adrenaline when Jake was out there. He was still in a wheelchair. He had broke his legs. And I was watching you ride that day. From that day to those photos that I was just looking at, and plus I've seen you ride in person, huge difference on your technique and form. And definitely just starting to look more pro. And when you're starting to look pro, that means you're in the right spot. And then that's going to bring that confidence and that smoothness when your technique looks good. And I can see it. So congrats on the progression. That's what it's all about. Man, I feel like this light's so bright. I'm trying to read the comments on the screen, but it's like this light that I got on tonight. I must have turned it up a little too hot because I can barely see. And that or maybe my eyes are going bad. I need some glasses. I can't even read you guys' stuff. I hope this is the question. I got to pull it up like this so I can actually read it. Did 352 pass away on that world record jump? I'm not sure about that. Was that recent? Man, I hope not. I'm not sure who AH352 is. And if I didn't hear anything about it. So hopefully, no. Hate to hear bad news like that. But I'm not sure if that's recent or not. All right, let's get Howard up here. He said, jump that star. I did. So he's clowning me because we were, so I'm glad you brought that up. If you guys are ever in Colorado Springs, go to the Olympics. It's the Olympics. What would we call it? The USA? I would think it is. It's the USA. It's the USA Olympics Museum. So it's basically all the history of all the athletes who have ever competed in the Olympics. But it gives you like this whole story as far back as it goes. Like when this started way back in like when the original Olympics started back in like crazy, like old school Rome, when these fools are wrestling like lions and stuff. That's how it started. And they threw rocks for disc. But anyway, it gives you the whole story, and it's got all like, it's just memorabilia. That's how you would say it. But it's cool. If you're in the town and you want to check it out, we went there, and he's laughing about the race. So you can basically, obviously with technology, you can do all this stuff now. So you can kind of get in, like you can get in a bobsled, you can get on like a downhill ski. You can kind of do all this stuff like you're doing it. But they had like a place where you could do a sprint. And I was going to race Mel's dad, and I jumped the gate. That's right. I just seen the right, like 3, 2, 1, like you would go. But it's 3, 2, 1, go. So I was one step ahead of him. That's all right. I was hyped up, dude, ready to win. All right, let's get Liam up here. He said, what up, Faisst? How's everything going? Can you check your DMs for me? I feel like I always check my DMs for you. Mel's leaving. I hear her sneaking out right now. The garage door's going up. Just called her. Text her. Where are you going? And keep your prayers. Just got my wisdom teeth pulled today. Please keep me in your prayers. All right, brother. Well, hey, we're going to pray for those teeth. Lord, bring some peace, because it's not fun. If anyone's had their wisdom teeth out, it's not fun. But yeah, I would check what DMs are you sending me on, because I was just in my DMs before I was in here, and I didn't see any from you. If you're looking at the Ronnie Faisst one. All right. But hit me up there if that's what you want, because it gets hard to find all of them. Too many pages. All right, so we got Patrick here. It says, do you still play Battleship Ever Friday with Gary Beasy? Do you still play Battleship Ever every Friday night with Gary Beasy? I don't. I never have. Gary Beasy in the Battleship game. So anybody else been on there with him? I've never played. So if anybody else on there, let us know how that is. Never jumped in there, dude. We were playing dice with Mel's family. Her family always likes to play games. I've noticed that ever since I got married to her. We didn't do that growing up. We didn't play games. Like we didn't sit around the table and play games in our family. But her family does. They play all types of games. So they were dice rolling this week. I was like, yo, don't make me. Come on, let's get some money out on the table. Make this fun here. But I didn't win. I didn't. So maybe I was glad I kept my money in my pocket. Grandma won though. Her grandma smoked this. She did. I'm gonna be honest with you. The funny thing is she was like 2,000 points away. I'm not even exactly sure what game this was because I'm not a gamer. But she was down by like 2,000 points, and she rolled a 4,000. And she said this was funny. She was like, her grandmother's old too. She's like older. It's not like she's younger. Just picture this little old lady down by like 2,000 points. And then she goes like this, and she rolls the dice. She don't shake them. She does the roll. She said, watch this. She rolled like 4,000 and won. I was dying. I'm like, shit, you better go to Vegas. All right, we got Trent here. He said, hey, Ronnie, I heard Twitch and DBK is going to be sponsoring round 10 of Fox Raceway. Are you going to be coming there? Yes. So that is true. He is definitely sponsoring that race, and there's a good chance that I'm going to be there. I've been kind of going back and forth because X Games is going to be at Axel's house or compound. I think it's July 14th, 15th, the weekend of 14th, 15th. So I'm like, shoot, should I go out to X Games or should we wait up and go out to the Fox Raceway? So I think because X Games is coming up so quick, the Fox Raceway might be more likely to happen, but not 100% sure, but there's probably like 90% chance. So if I'm out there, I will holla at you. Actually, I just texted you today. I was hitting Trent up because Trent is a graphic designer, and I want some more designs for RFMX. I want some new stuff, and I actually need some new stuff from Mark. I want to come out with some new stuff. We need tees right now. It's hot. We need tees and tanks, so we need to step up our game and get some stuff lined up for the summer. So Trent's got the design skills, so that's why I was hitting him up earlier. All right. What up with Cooper Webb? So Sky's saying, what up with Cooper Webb? I don't know. I feel like maybe he's just a slow starter right now. I don't think we can count him out, though. Don't count out Webb yet. he definitely could just pop in there. And once he gets going and confidence is there, he's hard to beat. So don't cut him out yet. He could be there. But who knows what's up with him right now? You never know. Could be the heat. All right, Ace, he says, can you do a stream with Twitch? Yes. I know I've talked about this probably long enough. I just need to pull the trigger. But check it out. We were actually supposed to have a guest on today, and he canceled on me. It would have been this Monday. Sorry, I'm thinking it's Monday. I forgot this ain't our normal night. So it would have been this Monday coming up. I would have had a guest, but he did cancel on me, but it's fine because he rescheduled. So the following week, we 100% have a guest coming on as long as they don't cancel again. And actually, you know what? I was gonna try to surprise everybody, but you're the faithful group. You guys are here week after week. Hey, it's Chad Keggy. I don't know how many medals Keggy's got. He's probably got like, who knows? I don't want to say he's got 5 if he has 10. He's got a lot of gold medals. He's got a lot of X Games medals. He's a BMX vert rider. He lives right around the corner from me, and I've been wanting him to bring him on. So I'm like, you know what? He's local. Let's get him on, and then we're gonna start. We gotta get Twitch on. We gotta get Deegan on. Get some of the other boys on. But anyway, for you guys, because you're faithful crew here week after week, you guys know, and it'll be a surprise for everybody else who, I guess, doesn't watch this episode. But so we're stoked to get him on. Good dude, and we've toured a lot together. And I'm just gonna let you guys talk to him. Let him tell his story because he has a cool story. And dude, he got hurt gnarly bad, and Austin broke his back. And but we got to tour together, I think. How many years we do Huck Jam, Feist? The Tony Hawk tour? 4 or 5 years? So we would have or it was either 3, I can't remember. Maybe it was only 3 years. Maybe the Nuclear Cowboy tour was 5 years, and Tony Hawk tour was 3 years. Can't remember. But anyway, maybe Chad will remember, or Big Feist might. But we did all those tours together, and obviously I've seen him when Dew Tour used to have BMX, Vert, and Moto. So I've seen him at all the Dew Tours, and then obviously at X Games. So good friends for a long time. And we got a funny story how, I don't want to tell you all stuff. I'm going to save it to when he comes on, but we'll chop it up when we get him on here. Good dude. We got V-Dubski up in here. We got to give a little shout out to V-Dub. He said he's loving the new Husky. So, hey, cool thing. I don't know if you guys saw the post, but got to meet V-Dub finally. We've been hanging out for months now here on the channel. And he bought my 2018. So I brought it down to Oklahoma. He drove up from Texas. I met him and his homie. So got a photo together. I posted on my story. So some of you guys might have seen it, some of you not. But cool to meet V-Dub after all this time talking out. It's a little shout out to our boy from down in Texas. Yeah, man. Enjoy that bike. Be safe on it. And that's a good bike right there. Let's get Jeff. I feel like I skipped Jeff real quick. Let's get Jeff back up here. It says, did you see Zach Osborne pulled out of the Nationals to heal up his back? Did you see? I didn't know that. Bummer. Man, see? He would have been someone that definitely could have been up in the mix for sure. You know Osborne's got the outdoor skills. Seen that last year. He's the defending champ, so that is a bummer. The champ's out. So, man, sport's rough, dude. That's for sure. Let's get MX tips up here. See what's cracking. All right, it says, do you guys ride how do you guys ride sand? I thought it said, do you guys ride sand? I was getting ready to say, we just rode some sand down in Oklahoma. So sand, think about sand. Think about what you don't want to happen in sand. Someone's blowing me up here. Let's just say this. What happens a lot in sand? You see people dive the front end. So that means you got to keep the front end light. So what you want to do is you're going to transfer your weight back a little bit. It's kind of like riding mud a little bit. You're going to transfer your weight back a little bit. Doesn't mean you got to dangle off the back of the bike. But at the same time, you want the front end light. You want to keep the front end light out of the sand, because when the front end gets in the sand, what's it do? It does this. So rotate back a little bit, lighten the front end. And then coming in the corners, you're going to use less front brake in sand than you normally would on like hard pack or sticky clay type of dirt, because it's going to cause the front end to dip. You come in and grab a handful of front brake, it will push the front end. So go a little bit lighter on the front brake, transfer a little bit weight back. And then, to be honest with you, the more you're on the gas in the sand, the better. So if you can just kind of stay on the gas as much as you can, keep the front end light. always better than, because a lot of times, depending on how sandy it is, sometimes you can seriously chop the throttle and the bike slows down so much because the sand's so heavy. But anyway, so on the gas. Sand whoops, stay on the gas. That's just a few basic tips. Just transfer the weight and being a little bit lighter on the front brake on your corner entry. And same thing, think about it if you're going into the corners, if you're too far forward in the sand, it's going to want to knife the front end. So then you kind of have to adjust. I had like Robbie Smith's motocross park where we were for Oklahoma is sandy compared to what I'm riding here. And I grew up riding sand in New Jersey, so I like it. I got no problem riding sand. It was normal. If you're from Jersey, you were a sand rider. But I haven't rode it forever. Lived in California for 20-some years. A hard pack out there. There's not a lot of sand out there. So I didn't get to ride it a whole lot after I left. And then living here, it's pretty hard pack for the most part. So when I went down there, I had to adjust. I got out there the first 2 laps, and to be honest with you, I felt off. I was like, whoa. I'm like, and it was just my body position. I'm like, whoa, I'm too heavy on the front brake. I got to back off the front brake a little bit. Don't be so aggressive. And then same thing in the corners. I like to ride really far forward up over the front end of the bike. I had to be patient, rotate back a little bit, and then just steady on the gas, smooth with the gas. And I was trying to come in and carry momentum. Like I was kind of trying to pick up the throttle earlier since it was sand berms, and then steady, just and roll into it. But it took me, honestly, the first 2 laps felt like a squid. I'll be honest with you. Make some minor adjustments, but then you start adjusting. You're like, all right, here it is. I can't be this far forward. Kind of roll back a little bit so the front end doesn't tuck as fast. Or you don't want it to tuck at all, but you know what I'm saying. So it's similar to mud. If you ever been in a mud race, it's kind of similar to riding sand. All right. But I like the sand. It's good. I lost my spot now. MX tips, everybody. What's Big Feist saying here? What he said, skipping my comment. What'd you say? What'd he say? Why are you skipping my comment? Big Feist is coming out in August. Let's just scroll up and see what he's so heated about. Where's he at? Blind as a bat. You're right. You're right. It's the light, dude. I think Mel adjusted the light tonight, so we're going to blame it on her. She got this up too high. Can't see the screen, dude. I know. My eyes are going. My back hurts. Getting old here. All right, let's see. MX tips. I'm reading some of your comments here for a second. Make sure I see crying faces. Also, I'm like, what are you guys laughing at? DK's up here just dying. What has he got going? Yeah, see? He's laughing because we get confused. We start thinking it's Monday. Because this is what we normally do. This is our Monday night. All right, let's see here. MX tips again. Oh, wait. Yeah, let's get MX tips again. Wait, how's it not going up? Come on. There we go. He says, how do you afford your dirt bikes? I know, they're expensive. Kind of what I've been doing for pretty much as long as I remember. I basically saved up enough money to buy one, and then obviously I bought another one. But then I always just rotate the money. I try to buy one, get a good deal on it, sell it. Then you just take the money from that one and rotate it in the next one. So you still got to come out of the pocket a little bit each year. Well, I don't buy bikes every year anymore. I'm on like a 2-year deal now. So every 2 years I try to get a bike. I'm down to one bike right now. I only got one. But that's kind of the program I did. Save up your money, go get one. When it comes time to, like, if you're going to do a 2-year deal like me, every 2 years sell it, come out of pocket a little bit and get the next one and just rotate the money. But they are expensive. I know that. It's more expensive now than ever. It kind of sucks, but it is what it is. If you like them, you kind of have to do it, right? People spend money on what they like. All right, what was your first bike? So Chris says, what is your first bike? So Big Feist got me this is not first dirt bike. This first is, whatever you want to call it, motorcycle, but not a dirt bike. I started on 3-wheeler. So we had a 1985 Honda ATC 70. If you guys remember those, the little 73-wheeler, that was the first motorcycle that I had. I was like 5 or 6. And then the first dirt bike I got was a 1986 XR80. that was my first dirt bike. And I remember Big Feist teaching me how, I still remember this, the very first day, because I had to learn how to use the clutch. My three-wheeler didn't have a clutch on it. So when I got on the XR, it was the first time I learned how to use the clutch. And I remember, we had a little bit of property back in New Jersey. We had this field cleared out in the back. And at that time, it was just a field. I ended up making a track out there eventually. But I remember he's trying to teach me how to use the clutch. And I remember I went, boop, boop, started a couple times, boop, boop, brrr, and I took off. And I went straight whiskey, straight into the woods and hit a tree. That was my first experience on a dirt bike. But right after that, we got my first, it was a 1989. I think it was a 1989 CR80. And then we started, or was that an 88? Was that an 88 or an 89, Feist? I think it was an 89. And then I started racing. So once we got the two-stroke, well, yeah, because the XR80 was a four-stroke. So we went from a four-stroke dirt bike to a two-stroke. And once we got the two-stroke, we jumped up and started racing a year later. And then we went to motocross school the very next year. So that first whole year that I raced, just straight beginner. I did everything wrong, possibly. Like everything that I see beginners do, I did. I'm like, man, I did that. I'm like, I remember when I rode like that. I could show you. I should get some pictures. Maybe I'll do that. Maybe it's funny. I should get pictures of me before I went to motocross school and then after I went to motocross school, and the difference, how big of a difference it helped me so much. I went down to Gary Bailey's motocross school in Axon, Virginia, and we started going every year. Basically, we were, my dad was a police officer, so we weren't like some of the families that had just huge budgets to go do every single thing. Some people went down to the Minios, they went to Loretta's, they went to Ponca, they went to motocross school. I kind of had a pick. It was kind of like, hey, what do you want to do this year? You want to go to motocross school? You want to go to Loretta's? And we got to do two. We couldn't go to Ponca, we couldn't do the Minios, or it was one of the, like, which one? Pick one. So I always picked motocross school and Loretta's. There was my two, or pick two. But like I said, so I think that was probably the smarter thing for me to do instead of going down to Ponca, instead of going down to Mini-O's and skipping motocross school and trying to do like Loretta's or Ponca or Loretta's and Mini-O's. I would skip one of those and say, let's go to motocross school and let's go to Loretta's. And I honestly think that was probably a smart choice as a young rider because it helped me a ton. It's probably why I did pick it because I sucked. I'll be honest with you. I seriously had no skills, bad body position. I did everything wrong. Everything that you could do wrong on a dirt bike, I did. Like the worst body position. I'm bringing up pictures so you guys can laugh with me. I was a goon, like so bad, like elbows so tucked, 4 fingers on the clutch, just squirrel. And then Gary Bailey, like he helped me a ton and just changed my whole technique. And you can see like from the first year I started racing to the first year I went to school, every year that I went down there, I got more and more. Just the way I'd say is like you can look pro even if you can't, like even if you're not on a pro level, you can still look pro. You can learn. That's what the more I think about it, like man, like can I ever go as fast as Roxon? No, but in my mind, I'm like I can be as smooth as Roxon. Why not? I can have that same technique. I might not be able to go as fast as that guy, but I can have that good of a technique. I think all of us can. We might not be able to go as fast as that dude, but all of us have the ability to get in the right position and be smooth, be calculated, and be like technical good riders. That everyone has that ability, but some people just have the ability to go really, really fast, and not everybody can do that. So that's why there's the great of the greats, and he's one of them. But hey, I'm happy with being in control and looking smooth and looking like I know what I'm doing and going home in one piece. I like that. So I'll work on the technique and I'll help others work on the technique. That's what I love to do. That's why I coach. At the end of the day, I know how much it helped me, and now I'm in a position that I can help others, and I think that's what life's all about. Life's all about helping people and teaching people, That's what I feel like. If you look at a family, how a family's designed, what do you think? That's what the dad does. The dad teaches the kids what to do. So, so it's kind of like, I don't know, martial arts. What do? You learn as a martial artist, and then you get to a high rank, and then you teach people. And even as a Christian, Christians grow, and they get an understanding of what Scripture is, and then they help other Christians and younger Christians under. It's just kind of like the journey of life of helping people come along under you. So just my time to give that back in the motocross industry. So, and I enjoy it. I love it. I'm going to do it as long as I can. And we'll see how long that goes. I'm shooting for 50 right now. I'm going for 50. But check this out. I met a dude in Oklahoma. I'm saying 50. I'm going to try to make sure I can ride at 50, and then we'll reevaluate the situation. But I met this dude in Oklahoma. He was 64 years old, Moto in the track. I was like, dude, I don't know if I'll be able to ride at 64. That's pretty up there. I'm like, I'm just shoot for 50 and we'll see how we're feeling. So, but that's pretty inspiring. 64 on the track, dude. But I feel like when I used to go down to Gary Bailey motocross school, I feel like that dude was pretty up there in age as well. Feist, how old do you think he was when I went there? He wasn't a spring chicken. He was an older dude. And because that's where I think I like wrestle with, like, okay, if I'm 64, like I like to always kind of like demonstrate what I'm doing, but there's going to kind of, if I was that old, I probably can't demonstrate everything that amazing. And now that I think back at it at motocross school, Gary Bailey didn't demonstrate nothing. He told you how to do it, but he always found someone in the class who was doing it right and had them demonstrate for him. So maybe that's the technique when you get too old. Because think about like Donnie Hansen. I've never seen Donnie Hansen's awesome coach. It's Josh Hansen's dad. He's been a coach for probably like 20 some years, and he's I think he won a 125 championship way back in the day. But I don't think I've ever seen him in gear out there riding. He just coaches. So, but I enjoy being out there. So I don't know if I get to the point to where I can't be out there and I can't demonstrate, am I going to feel like, oh man, like that's not the same as being a coach. I like gearing up with you guys. I like riding with you guys. I feel like I can coach better when I ride the section because I'm like, okay, now I got an idea of what this feels like. I feel like I can explain it better, and I don't know. So we'll see. I'm going to go as long as I can, but who the heck knows? Guess it comes a time for everybody. Get too old, you just got to find someone to demonstrate for you. All right, did I skip anybody? Because I kind of lost my spot. I might have. I think I skipped Sky. I'm going to go back up. It says, will you ever go to Monster Mountain Track in Alabama? Actually, I'm open to traveling to do motocross school, so I'm not going to say I'll never be there. So maybe someday. And I'm going to look that track up, to be honest with you, and check it out. Because I know there's some amazing tracks out there, and it would be cool to travel and do motocross schools. And it might happen. Hey, it might happen. Mom might give me a trailer one day and drive around and do classes. All right, let's get Sky here. It says, have you ever been to Jimmy, I don't know how to say his last name, track in North Carolina? That's where I ride. I have not been to that track. So here's another track, North Carolina. There's awesome tracks. North Carolina, there's some tacos are kicking up. Tacos are kicking up right there. North Carolina, I feel like, has sick tracks for sure. I always see Deegan out there riding, Josh Hill out there riding. So haven't been there, but is it his personal track or does it have a name? Because I like to look that one up as well. Put it on my list. I was looking, man, I skipped a lot of you guys. How did I skip all these questions? All right. I got that one. Where's your first bike? There it is. Okay, I'm back on track. Trent, what's worse than sand is riding through silt? Is that what that says? Silt. What's worse than sand? What's worse than sand is riding through silt. So silt, I guess, is more finer than sand, and it's sketchier, he's saying. All right, so here's a question. I just happen to see, why did you become a born-again Christian? I would say I believe the Bible. That's all. That's kind of how that happened. You know what I mean? It's not like I set out a goal like, hey, let me become a born-again Christian. It just happened. It just basically happened. I don't know if you heard my testimony, but I have another page on here called Ronnie and Mel. It's a ministry page. Has my story, has my wife's story. You can go check it out, but short thing, just to give you a real short testimony, I started watching a dude on TV that kind of got my attention, and then I started reading the Bible, and then when I read the Bible, I started in the New Testament. So anyone who's never read the Bible before and you want to maybe just check it out for yourself, start in the New Testament. Don't start in Genesis because it'll get really hard and tough. You'll probably close it and never make it through. Start in the book of Matthew and read the Gospels. It's just there's the stories of the life of Jesus. Super easy to understand. It's stories. It's a narrative story. You're reading about someone's life. Super easy to understand. I read those. I actually read the whole New Testament, but I've read through those Gospels and the New Testament, and I believed it to be true. So because I believed it, I put my faith in it and decided to become a Christian. So it basically happened by learning about Jesus, I would say, because I didn't know the Bible. I didn't grow up reading the Bible or scripture or anything like that. But when I read it, it spoke to me, and it basically, to me, I'm like, you know what? I believe this is a true story. I believe he is who he said he is. What's written about him is true, and I'm putting my faith in it, and that's it. And I like it. To be honest with you, I'm glad I became a Christian because it gives me hope. I've lost a lot of friends in this sport, and when I've lost friends that I know that have been believers, it's actually been a lot easier for me to deal with than when I've lost friends that I'm like, man, I don't know where that dude's faith is. So as a believer, when I see other believers pass away, I'm sad for them and their family, but at the same time, I'm like, they didn't really die. They just transitioned from one place to the next, because that's what the scriptures tell us, that Christians don't die. we're eternal, you know. So I don't like that. That's easier for me to have peace with when I see people moving on to something bigger and better. And same thing, I have something to look forward to, you know. Like, I love life. This life is awesome. I love life. I love everything we get to do here. I love, like, the creation, the beach, the sunset. I love all that stuff. I look at that stuff and go, man, this is awesome. I want to stay here forever. Well, guess what? I can stay here forever through faith in Jesus, because that's what the Bible says. And it's right here. Like, that's the one thing I learned as a Christian. I'm not up in heaven floating around on some clouds. That's not what the Bible teaches us. That's what people think of heaven as just some, like, thing way off. Like, we're like, what are you going to do in heaven? Like, it's just, you're up there in the clouds. What are you doing? Like, that's not, no. The Bible teaches that God renews the earth. That means this earth that's been fallen, God's going to restore it and renew it. We live in a fallen world. He's going to bring heaven and earth back together. We're going to live right here on earth, but we have bodies that don't perish. So to me, I'm like, that sounds good to me. Hey, I love life, and I want to stay here for a long time. And guess what? I can do that through faith in Jesus. So I'm going to be right here in this renewed earth, and it's probably going to be amazing, because I'm like, look how beautiful sunsets are in the mountains and all this stuff. What's it going to look like in the renewed earth, like the restored earth? What's that going to look like? It's got to be looking pretty good. Because there's a scripture that says that. It says you can't even imagine how good it's going to be. So, like I said, it gives me something to look forward to. I'm looking forward to something better than what's right now, and I actually think this is pretty good at the moment. I'm like, I like life. Shoot. But it's going to get better. So, but check it out. If you want to hear that story and get all the details, go to ronnieandmel.com, or just go to Ronnie and Mel on YouTube, and you can, it's called, what's it called? Mel named it Moto to Ministry as the name of my testimony. And if you want to hear my wife's story as well, it's Moto to Ministry, I think. All right. Let me find my spot again. I keep losing my spot tonight, dude. I'm rusty. Take off 2 weeks. I can't get through the comments. Jacked up here. All right, so there's that one. Monster, that was that one. Oh, we missed Liam. How we miss Liam? Did we miss Liam? Let's get him up here. He said, would you rather go riding in the desert like Glamis in the hills like Alcatia, or ride a freestyle setup like yours, Deegan's, Fitz's, or anyone else had? That is a good question. I feel like I like everything. It all depends with, I really like everything. That's a hard question to answer, because I do like everything. I like going to the track and burning laps, but at the same time, I haven't got to hit a ramp, but I enjoy hitting the ramp. I miss it. If I get some land, I'm going to have a ramp, and I'm going to session it. But at the same time, I still enjoy going out and riding in the hills. So that's a tough one. I don't know which one I would say more. I would probably say I spent more time as a freestyle guy jumping my ramp in my backyard the most. I did, obviously, it was my job. But I did that the most, obviously, because I didn't have to go to the track and ride laps every day. You know, I had to learn freestyle tricks. And then the same thing, you know, we went on road trips, but the majority of the time was just backyard, wake up. That's where the daily routine was. Daily routine was wake up every day, back in the yard, going through my trick list, trying to learn something new. And then we rode the track 1 day a week. We had a 1 day a week was our track day. And then the trips were probably the least out of everything. So majority of the time on the ramp, 1 day a week at the track, and then we did the road trips. But the road trips are always fun. Don't knock them. So, but I like it all. Like, I like riding the woods too. I like riding, period. I can have fun on my dirt bike in all different types of situations. And it don't take much. You can just give me a little turn track and I can be completely like satisfied just working on turns. Like, that's what's fun about dirt bikes. Or like, I can just go out and practice wheelies. So I used to do that in my old house. I used to get bored and just jump on my dirt bike and go outside and just do wheelies. Fun. It's technique. And if you can't do slow wheelies, practice them. They're such good practice. Throttle, clutch control, balance. Just, it's technique. And it's going to improve your balance a gazillion times. And the more better balance you have, the better you're going to be out there. So, and that was, I know I've talked about this before. That was, Gary Bailey did that to us the first day of our class, was riding rain ruts and riding slow wheelies. That's all you did the first day. So I know if you got the OG motocross coach of all time doing slow wheelies, you got to do them, dude. It's technique, it's balance. All right. I'm looking for another comment here. What's Big Feist going on about now? All right, let's see. All right, it's called Jimmy. How do we say his last name? Is it Weiner? Weiner? Oh, wait, it has a T at the end. All right, so we're going to look him up. He's the AMA motocross champion in the 1980s. He's a track here in North Carolina. All right, we're going to have to look him up. Weiner. I know that name. I do know that name. All right, we're looking here. Yeah, let's give a little shout out to Big Feist. Happy Father's Day coming up here. When is that? Dude, is that this weekend? Man, it is, huh? Yeah, it is. All right, well, we're going to have to we'll hit Big Feist up. Dude, it is, right? The 20th? Big Feist. Happy Father's Day coming up. Father's Day weekend. So, this isn't a question, but I'm just saying, he's saying that Ken rides a track in Alabama. There you go. See, there's tracks. All right, here we go. Oh, wait, man, I don't know if this is a question or not. Thank you for the explanation on Renew the Earth, because I never heard of it that way. You said, and you said it's New Testament, right? Now I want to read it. Yeah. So basically, this is what's, as you learn about the Bible, because you don't know if you're like me, you just come in, you don't know nothing, you just figure it out as you go along, right? So I don't know. The Bible's not even one book. Like, you might get intimidated by it. If you're like me, I never was a big reader. So when you look at the Bible, you're like, whoa, I ain't trying to mess with that, right? Intimidation, that's a big book. Dude, it's not one book. It's 66 different books. And some of those books in there are super short. So when you start realizing like, oh, it's a library of books, not necessarily one book, you can just read them book by book. But anyway, the Bible's broken up into two sections, the Old Testament and the New Testament. And the New Testament basically starts with the life of Jesus. So that's why I say start there, because that's where Christianity is. You need to understand who Jesus was. So if you start there, it kind of gets straight to the point. You understand who Jesus was, what he did, why he died, and you kind of can get the gospel. And that's kind of the starting ground for believing in Jesus, is understanding what the good news is, right? So I would start there. So yes, the New Testament, start in the book of Matthew, and then just read straight to Revelation. Read book by book. Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John are the first four, and you're going to read those four, and they're going to be really similar to each other. They call them the synoptic gospels because they're similar. So they're just the stories of the life of Jesus. But that's a good place to start. And then once you kind of can, if I've honestly read through the New Testament multiple times, then I went back to Genesis and then read through all the way up to Malachi is the last book of the New Testament, or the Old Testament. And there's a really, really big story, and it'll take a long time to explain the whole story of God, but it's a story of redemption. God created the earth, created people sinned and fell, and then God came up with a plan in order to renew mankind, restore mankind, redeem mankind, and then the same thing, he restores and he's a redeemer. He restores and renews the earth as well. So it's a big story of redemption, of God restoring the humanity and the creation that he created, because it all fell when basically man fell. Heaven and earth were in the beginning, the garden. Man and God and earth were all one. Heaven and earth was one. Man and God dwelled in God, or man dwelled in God's presence. When man fell, when Adam fell, he sinned against God. That was separated. So sin separates us. Well, heaven and earth separated. So now the creation is under the curse of sin, but God, through Jesus, renews that and redeems it and brings it all back together. Redeems man and then redeems the earth. And now the story ends the same way as it began. We end back in this perfect place in the presence of God. So it's a long 2,000 year, well, even bigger than that. I would say 4,000 year plus. I don't know. It's long. Big story. I'm just trying to figure back. It's probably 6,000, right? Who knows? I don't get super caught up in all the because I feel like that's debatable. People will argue with you on that one, so I'm not even gonna go there. People, they'll argue, like, no, it's this, that. But it's worth looking into. That's what I'm saying. If you never don't know the story, you never looked into it, open it up and read it. Like, people were like, man, I don't believe in the Bible. I'm like, have you ever read it? And they're like, no. I'm like, well, you didn't really give it a fair shot. Like, you just write it off. Well, I heard this. It's written by man. And everyone has all their objections of why they don't believe it. Or I always hear this one. I can't understand the Bible. Have you read it? No. Dude, if I can understand it, anybody can understand it. It ain't that hard, but people have all these thoughts in their head. The Bible's too hard. It's written by man. It's the world's millions of years old, but the Bible only goes back 6,000 years. That's what I'm saying. There's all these different arguments that people want to throw at it. But a lot of times they haven't even looked into it to themselves. So if you never looked at it, just open it up like I did. Open it up and just read it with an open mind and see what happens. That's all I did. And to me, I was like, seems legit. And then it goes on from there. But you gotta read it. You gotta give it a chance. Check it out. Did I miss anybody? All right, so what is a good budget? We got Chris here again. What is a good budget for, man, my eyes are getting bad. It's that one. That's the bad one. If I cover that one, it's completely blurry. But when I'm trying to focus with the two, it's starting to get blurry. I'm going to have to get glasses. What is a good budget on a 125 two-stroke or 254 stroke used? What is a good budget? Like your accent's like, what is a good price to pay for a 125 two-stroke or a 254 stroke used? Man, I think it would depend what year you're trying to get, because obviously the newer it is, the more expensive it's going to be. So, and they're not cheap. The newer they are, I know they're expensive. So I don't know. I couldn't give you a straight answer. It depends, like whatever your budget is, like whatever you're able to save up and afford. Then just kind of, you probably can get on Craigslist or what. Anybody else? Where's another place to find good bikes, used bikes, other than Craigslist or is it cycle.com? Just to get an idea of like say your budget's $5,000. I don't know. I'm just throwing a number out. Say your budget's $5,000, and then what can I get for $5,000? And then you can kind of get in there and go, oh, okay, I'm looking at for $5,000. I'm looking at maybe a 2016, maybe 2018, 17. I don't know, somewhere in that range. And if your budget's less, you kind of, okay, let's say my budget's $3,000. Okay, what am I getting? Okay, I might only be able to get a 2010 or whatever. But I think you probably have to just figure that one out by doing a little research of what your personal budget is, and then what's that going to buy you. I would check out, is it Cycle Trader, and if anybody knows any other stuff, Craigslist, right? Craigslist always got bikes on there. Or Facebook Marketplace too, right? People always throwing stuff up on there. Check that out. See what's on there. We got V Dovsky here doing a little dono to help support the program. Much love. Always appreciate you, V Dovsky. Always being generous, showing a little super chat love. Yeah, what does this say? Who's rode in Silt here? I haven't. MX, who's got the Silt game? I don't. I've never rode in it. That's funny. I mean, unless it's just sugar sand. Big Fight's been in the sugar sand. He always says that. Crop shop. What the heck's Feist talking about right here? Chop shop. All right, let's see. Yeah, Facebook Marketplace. That's exactly. Jason's on it. Yep, look on Facebook Marketplace for used bikes. I always see a lot of them on there. Yep, I agree, 100%. Jump on there. That's the funny thing is, I was actually on there right before I jumped on here. I was looking for a golf cart. Anybody know anybody selling a golf cart? We want a golf cart to cruise around the neighborhood. And they're sold out everywhere. Can't even find one around here. I've hit up like 3 different places. Sold out. Well, we're going to try to get some in. And I was on Facebook Marketplace trying to find some golf carts. It looks like the way I'm figuring out this is going to work. If you want one, you basically have to custom build one and order it and wait 4 weeks because no one has any for sale. Maybe you'll get lucky and find one on Craigslist because I did. One popped up and I called the dude and I waited a day because I wanted to go look at. I drove by a shop that built them. I wanted to have something to compare it to, and then I hit him back up the next day. Gone. I was like, shoot, waited too long. 1 day. Can't wait. It's like a house. You want to buy a house? Don't wait longer than a day to get your bid in because it'll be gone. Crazy markets these days. We got Jess Hunt here. What up, Jess? He said, oh, sorry. Man, what's that doing there for? I'm trying to read your thing. Here we go. It says, can you comment on Moto Dads being on the track? Crashed yesterday and dislocated my shoulder. Broke the top of my bone that goes into the socket and 4 ribs. All because of a dad on the track. Yeah, I get it. You're not supposed to be on the track, though. I mean, Big Feist used to get yelled at all the time. I remember he got in trouble for running out. Didn't you hit somebody with the pit board by accident? Feist jacked somebody up? But basically, many dads, you're not supposed to be on the track. I know you get excited and you want to get out on the track, but you got to stand back. But I feel like it happens. People get excited. I understand if a kid crashes and a dad runs out there, I would probably do that as a dad. It's kind of hard. And I don't, but you just have to be aware of, you don't just run across the track. If your kid's crashing and you got to get to your kid, just be aware of when you're crossing the track. Just don't dart across and take out somebody like Jess and then he gets hurt. So I know it's one of those things that sucks. Someone's not supposed to be out there and you hit them and then you get hurt. It's kind of like, it just made me think of X Games when I hit the cameraman. Like, it wasn't my fault. The dude, I didn't crash and knocked him out, but I could have crashed and could have got hurt. The dude standing way too far up on the landing. He's got his camera hanging out, and I ended up clipping him. And lucky I didn't get hurt, but I'm sure it rung his bell. He got knocked out. So you got to be careful if you got to get out on the track because, the kid goes down. You got to make sure you're safe to run across. But for the most part, if you don't have to be on the track, stand back and, keep your pit board where it's supposed to be because I know Big Feist did that before. I think it was Loretta's too. I think we were at Loretta's, and it was actually the moto. I was doing good. I was actually 1991. I was running 5th, and my hose blew off. Big Feist changed. Did you change a motor swapper? He did something, and he didn't tighten the radiator hose, and it blew off and blew all the water out of my bike. My bike overheated when I was in 5th, and that was the best I was running down there. But I feel like that was the same weekend or race or that he clipped the kid with the pit board when he went by, and the other dad got in his face for hitting the kid. So Big Feist is that guy. So hey Jess, get up, tell Big Feist, dude, get up with him. Stay off the track, punk. All right, so fun Bible fact here. It says, throughout all the years, each book of the Bible was written. Not one verse contradicts another. So there you go. Trent's got some good Bible facts there. No, dude, if you do your research, it's the most credible, reliable book. It is. Why do you think it's been able to withstand the test of history? People have been just trying to dispute that book for thousands of years and trying to ruin it, just prove it wrong. They've tried over and over and over again. They can't get it. It's still here, and it always holds to be true. So, but like I said, I can share my faith with you. I can share my story with you, but I can't give you my faith. You need your journey. You need your experience. God needs to become real to you. And the only way that God's going to become real to you, if you go seek him out yourself. The way I look at it is like, people don't know God. It's because they haven't seeked him out. They haven't searched for God. They don't like, they just, in their mind, he's not real, but they haven't even searched him out. Go search him out and see if he doesn't reveal himself to you in a personal way. And when he does that, he becomes real to you. And that's where faith comes from. And that's what he did to me. I just open up the Bible and reading God's word is seeking God. You're searching him out. And that's what God tells us. There's an invitation in the scripture to come and see, come and taste, come and follow me, come and seek, come and get a taste of me, and I'll show you that I'm good. And that's what God has done, not just my life, but thousands and millions of other believers around the world. And he's more real to me now than he was 15 years ago when I first became a believer, because now I can look back on 15 years of being a believer and see all the different times that God has showed up and has done things in my life to where I'm like, they're faith builders. They increase your faith because there's like, that was God there. That's for sure God. That wasn't just coincidence. That just didn't happen. That was 100% God. So as you seek him and as you go through the years of seeking him, you build a history with him. It's a relationship. You build a relationship with God and you build trust. And then as you grow as a believer, your faith, it just grows. You have more faith now than you did when you first got started because you have a history with God. But you need to do that for yourself. That's what I was getting at. It has to be your journey, your revelation of God, your seeking, and God becoming real to you in your own way. And he will. I promise you, if you seek him out, he'll show up. I feel like I have confidence saying that to people. He says, you still talk to Scummy. I do. Me and Scummy have always remained friends, so still talk to little Scum. He's doing well. All in love now, if you follow him on Instagram. Love you, boy. Hey, but good for him. It's good for him. Actually, I know his girlfriend, and she's a cool girl, so a little shout out. All right, so we got Trent here. It says, oh wait, here it is. He's giving us the rundown on silt. He said it's like riding on flour. Yeah, see, it's sugar. Well, Big Feist calls it sugar stain. So flour would even be softer than sugar. So it's even worse than the sugar sand Big Feist talks about. Usually pretty deep too. So far, if you let off gas, just swallow it. Yep. So it's basically the sand of sand. And this is what I'm picturing right now. You ever been down to Florida when it's dry? That's probably silt. I feel like Oklahoma could even get like that too, because where I was, when the track was watered, it was mint. But then if you were just off to the side of the track where the water truck went and it wasn't watered, that was silt because it looked like orange powder. So there you go. It's out down in Oklahoma. So maybe I have rode it. I rode it when it's wet and it's actually pretty good. But if it's dry, it would suck. All right. We are at 8 o'clock already. That went by quick. Well, hey, man, let me see. Did I miss anybody's stuff? Yeah, let's get... Here's Big Feist. He's in a fight every week. When you win, everybody hates you. Yeah, Big Feist is always swinging at the fences down. All right. Well, hey, guys, thanks for hanging out, man. I appreciate it. If you're new here, be sure to subscribe. And if not, hey, smash the like button. Let everybody know on YouTube that this is good stuff. So they send it out to some people. But hey, thanks again for hanging out on this Thursday night. I know it's not our normal night. So appreciate you guys being here. We will be back next week. Same place, same time, 7 p.m. Central Time. And we will have a guest. As long as he doesn't flake, we will have Chad Keggy on here. X Games gold medalist and super cool dude. So we'll hang out with him. So be sure to come back next week, man. All right. We'll see you guys soon. And much love. Ride safe this week. Peace out.